The sun rises over Dover, Delaware to reveal a monster. A sky-high mile of concrete that terrifies everyone except he who already holds the championship. He, of course, is Tyler Ankrum, who clinched the championship at New Hampshire 1 race ago. On his left there was Todd Gilliland. They were buddies growing up racing go-karts in California. This is a reunion of sorts, but the important part of the day, winning at Dover International Speedway. Welcome to the Crosley Brands 125 laps on this high bank concrete mile, Parker. It should be fun.
Should be great. The fastest racetrack they go to all year. So many of the drivers look forward to this race to get that high-speed experience.
When you were getting ready for Dover, what did you look forward to?
First and foremost, getting that car to turn in the center along these high banks. You fly into these corners, and that's a key to going fast, getting it to turn.
Just over 90 miles outside of the nation's capital, Dover International Speedway, today's finale of the K&N Pro Series East. Championship already decided. Ankrum has an insurmountable lead over his teammate Dipple, but there's a fight for third, Parker.
There is, between Ronnie Bassett Jr., Anthony Alfredo, and Ruben Garcia Jr. One of those drivers are going to end up third in this championship, and you know that's something that they're all fighting for to the last race, is to get the highest points position possible. With
a maximum of 48 points, if they win and lead the most laps, they cannot catch Tyler Dipple, who's not in this race. He parted ways with DGR Crosley Racing after New Hampshire. Dylan Welch will give us someone who we should watch today at Dover.
Dave, I'm watching Harrison Burton. The champ is back. He won this championship last year, but due to unapproved adjustments, basically they opened the hood after qualifying due to overheating issues. He's going to start at the back, so a lot of cars to pass, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch Harrison Burton drive through the field today here at Dover.
Yeah, Harrison won this race a year ago, Dylan, and was on the pole today. All set to do great things, Parker, and then unapproved adjustments.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but having such a fast race car gives him a lot of confidence. You can probably drive through this field. If you look over to the left, you got your race analysis. 24 degrees of banking in these corners. I can't emphasize it enough. When you go off into turn 1 to the center of turn 1, from the straightaway to the center, it's 30 feet of elevation change. This place is absolutely insane.
Some of these drivers starting for the first time at Dover. That will be quite an experience. The lineup looks like this. You see Burton earning the pole there, but he will go to the rear. Anthony Alfredo was quick in second.
And then there in row 2, you have our champion, Tyler Ankrum, and beside him, the always quick Todd Gilliland. He'll be a threat for the win.
Derek Kraus inside row 3 there in the 1 car, the West Invader, the second run for him out here in the East, and he'll try to take home a monster trophy. You know, Parker, that's one of the things that people like to race here for, is to get that Miles the Monster trophy.
I've been very close myself to getting one of those and felt very disappointed at the end of the day. But, you know, the thing about this racetrack is, it's, as I said before, it's an experience. There's no lap you do around this place where you don't feel like you're going as fast as you can possibly go, and that you don't feel the sensation of speed. This is one of the best racetracks for feeling the sensation of speed in these race cars.
The championship has already been decided. That white 17 who slid up to the inside of row 1 now. Tyler Ankrum is the champion, but who's going to win at the Monster Mile to close out the K&N Pro Series East? Green flag is in the air. Oh, look at that blue car. That's Todd Gilliland to the outside.
Wasting no time, going 3 wide here around the outside to turn 1. Look at that power move by Todd Gilliland.
Wow, there was some grip out there that apparently Todd knew about. He chases down his teammate, now Ankrum.
You got to be careful, though. You know, we've had a bit of mist in the area, and it's really wiped some of the rubber that would normally be on this racetrack. Oh, Derek Kraus gets really loose there. You got to be careful to protect that right front tire. We've seen issues in the past, and this racetrack can be very abrasive on those right front tires early when there's not a lot of rubber down.
You're on board with the most recent winner. That's Brandon McReynolds. He won at New Hampshire, and a car gets out of shape there. That was Chase Cabry in the 4. And we should point out, Parker mentioned the weather. It's been a little iffy all weekend, and now Colin Garrett gets loose in the 18. I don't know if he's got it yet, Parker.
Oh, yeah, he's got an issue here. Most likely got a tire down. Oh, he's going to come into traffic.
Juan Manuel Gonzalez slams into him in the 5 car, and that brings out the first caution before they ever really get going.
Well, that's just unfortunate. And for Colin Garrett, I could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to hold on to that race car, and sometimes discretion is the better part of valor there, where you just spin it out. I know it's tough to do at this place. You're going about 140 miles an hour in the center of the corner, but right here, he gets it sideways. It might just be best to lock it down or keep it just as far down as you can, get in the throttle, but then he comes back up when it sits down in the left rear into traffic and nowhere to go for Juan Manuel Gonzalez. That's just an unfortunate circumstance there. And, you know, part of this monster mile is you have all this banking. You even have it on the straightaway, and it's self-cleaning normally. So stands there, and, you know, part of this monster mile is you have all this banking. You even have it on the straightaway, and it's self-cleaning normally. So Gonzalez probably thought he was doing the right thing being in the outside, but when that car hooks right, there's nowhere for him to go.
First start for Gonzalez here at the Monster Mile this morning, actually yesterday. Garrett Smithley sat in that car and had an opportunity to help shake it down so that it was right for Gonzalez. And one more look at it here. Parker, we're racing at 9 in the morning when they were supposed to be racing yesterday afternoon. So that's what I was about to say before Colin Garrett got out of shape there. Race rescheduled to the morning of Saturday, as were some other things. Be a busy day today. Xfinity Series racing, Cup Series practice, and right now the K&N Pro Series under caution for the first time at the Monster Mile. K&N Pro Series racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N High Flow Air Filters and Air Intake Systems, because everyone loves that fast car smell. Welcome back to the Crosley Brands 125 from the Dover International Speedway. Cleanup complete. Tyler Ankrum, the white 17, is a control car on the inside. Todd Gilliland, his teammate, to the outside in that blue 54.
Good start by both. Let's see if Todd Gilliland can use that outside lane once again. He's staying right on the quarter panel of Tyler Ankrum. It's going to be tough for Tyler to not give up that position down to turn 3 of the positive momentum that Todd Gilliland has.
Peaks back in there. What about choosing the inside line, Parker, on the restart?
Well, it comes down to a lot of times we see in some of the higher series that we choose the inside line because you pick up the rubber basically under caution and you clean off. Oh, let's go on board here, Brandon. Oh, what a cool shot, seeing his hands work inside that race car.
A lot of wheel
awesome
work there,
Dave.
huh? Yeah.
I love that. It's a great shot of how hard these drivers are working here at this fast, high-banked 1-mile racetrack, because you're constantly just checking that car as it goes through the banking of what kind of grip level it has and trying to lean on that right rear tire the best you can throughout the corner to get it basically to throttle down really early and then drive up out of that banking. It's an awesome racetrack.
Harrison Burton, the reigning champion in the series, by the way, in that red and black 12, now making his way by Chase Cabry. This is a battle for third. 74 of McReynolds and the 6 of Ruben Garcia.
And a lot of times here, you know, as we get late in the race, you might see in this position McReynolds squeeze down there as we go back on board. But right now, this early in the race, just give up the spot, reassess from behind him, take care of those tires, as I said, take care of that right front as they lay down rubber. There's a lot more racing to go.
There's one thing Brandon has been this year. It's been smart with that 74 car. They haven't entered every race. They're a small team. They did end up winning at New Hampshire, which was so big for them. All right, let's check in with Dylan Welch, who's been watching all of this.
And guys, you see so much aggression on these restarts because these cars are almost full throttle around this mile racetrack. So when everybody is all bunched up together like they are on these restarts, it's really important to try and capitalize and take advantage of some track position opportunities here.
So that's a great point, Dylan. And actually, I heard of some drivers who have actually qualified around here flat out in a K&N Pro E-Series car. So
wow,
you can do that. Oh, wow. Tyler Ankrum's definitely not flat out right there as he gets a huge slide into turn 1. I would say here in the race, though, they're still lifting. You might even dab the brake just to get the front sort of pushed into the racetrack and get it to turn a little better. But they are in the throttle very early in the corner.
As we ride on board with Brandon McReynolds, let's learn a little bit more about the driver of the 74 car.
Hi, I'm Brandon McReynolds, driver of the number 74 IGA Chevrolet in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. Yeah, the thing I like about the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East especially is just, you don't need a ton of money to come run this series, so it's affordable for a small team like us. It gives us an opportunity to come out here and compete and try to race with these guys that are spending a lot of money and that have a lot of success even on Fridays during the Truck Series races. For me as a driver, it's always big to win at places that my dad's won at, and obviously, like you said, winning in Talladega, that was really cool. But anytime you can go and win where your pops has won, that means a lot to the whole family. I'm Brandon McReynolds, and that's your NASCAR driver profile.
John Visconti so excited to win last weekend and then to carry an onboard camera this weekend. He was almost as excited about that, Parker. A lot of good views there from the 74 today.
No doubt. It's been an awesome view for us. Just watch him work inside the race car. We've seen some of the other cars ahead of him get into some handling issues is the best way to put it. But, Brandon McReynolds, we can't say enough about how hard he works to have this opportunity, how well he excels with this opportunity and all that he does in the sport right now. Spotting, driving, he's a manager for Noah Gragson. He does all sorts of things to stay a part of it, and it's cool to see him come out here and have a lot of success.
See the blue #1 Napa car. That's Derek Kraus out the back bumper of the 74 car. That's a good view to see how the cars raise up and then hunker back down, Parker, as they get into the banking.
Yeah, there's probably a couple crew chiefs that would like to have seen that, in practice, be able to assess the front end of the race cars from another view. So that would have been great for them to see.
Comes Alfredo trying to take 5th from Kraus.
Down the inside.
Yeah, you saw Garcia moving in on the leader, too.
Oh, got very loose there. Oh, we might have 3 wide here.
Here comes Dylan Bassett. Why not?
Alfredo fights back again on the bottom there underneath Kraus. It's so tough to do, and you see him check up almost as they get to the center because what's happening is he's losing that side force on the right side of the race car. Oh, we got a caution out.
And that's going to be for Devin Dodson in the 7 car. And that looks kind of terminal, Parker.
You'd never like to see that much smoke coming out of a race car.
No, Dodson.
That does not mean he lit the rocket boosters.
Well, from Ocean City, Maryland, this is a home race for him, so he was excited to be here and race at the Monster Mile for the first time. Has run a few races in the West. This is his first East excursion, even though he's from out here. Former Big Block modified driver who wants to go NASCAR racing, and it's going to end early for him today here in Dover. Meanwhile, the 6 of Garcia was all over the 54 of Gilliland. Back in Dover, cleanup complete after Devin Dodson oiled up the track with something. He's back in the race. They all came down pit road for the first break of 2 scheduled by NASCAR today. And nobody took their set of tires, so that'll be interesting to see. They're saving it for later. Green is back out at Dover. Oh, big challenge. Nice jump.
Yeah, and Todd Gillen chose the outside because that was working for him on the first 2 restarts. But now Ruben Garcia Jr. using the bottom. As I said earlier in the race, it's because you pick up that rubber. Todd's going to shoot back to the bottom into 3.
I knew he was going to have a challenge for him. I just didn't know it'd be on the initial start after the green came out there. And, gets into him, and Gilliland is around.
Well, that is exactly what happens here at Dover when you're just a little too aggressive. You don't quite have the side force on that race car because there's other cars around you, and it snaps around on the exit.
Well, that went downhill in a hurry for Gilliland. Race leader.
I think he'd have a tough time seeing right now, by the way.
Hood up over across the windshield there. And he had the lead at the restart. Garcia had a great jump down there on that bottom line, as you described. And then that car just got out of shape.
So here he is on the bottom. You see he gets a little bit of the apron there. It unsettles the race car, but now he's chasing up the racetrack and being underneath Ruben Garcia Jr. Although he's not right on him and he's not right on that rear spoiler, it does disturb the air. It takes away some of the side force. It takes away some of the air from that rear spoiler. He doesn't quite have the aero that he would have if he was alone. At this point, he's chasing it up, and then you see he does his best to keep it off of Ruben, which was nice of him, but in doing so, the car catches and puts him into the outside wall.
Get the rest of the field. I can't believe no one got into Gilliland. Here it is for
this would be a great
McReynolds.
shot.
Yeah. Running in third, Brandon McReynolds. Where does he go now?
Oh, it's so loose. And there, he just, once it pops out of the banking, You lose the load on the car, it releases out of the banking, and at that point, when he had the wheel turned to the right, it caught and shoved and put him in the wall.
So Gilliland's day is done. McReynolds scoots through, and now Garcia chose the same lane that Gilliland had chosen. What about that?
Well, I think that's smart because he probably saw that Gillen was able to fight back pretty hard out of turn 2, and therefore feels like maybe being on that outside lane just allows you a little bit more momentum out of 2 so you can defend better into turn 3.
All right, we'll see how that works out. I'm sure Brandon McReynolds in that black and orange 74 is saying, I'm going to do what Garcia did. I'm going to take advantage and try to get that lead on this restart. They get to the cone. Right there, Garcia hits the gas, and the green is back out at Dover.
Good start by Garcia, but also a great start by McReynolds if he can stay side by side here into turns 1 and 2. Look how light that racetrack is. There's no rubber down anymore. They've picked it all up underneath these cautions. That's why that bottom lane can be faster, as they're side by side into turn 3.
McReynolds going for 2 in a row and going for the lead. Whoa, that 74 car is loose.
See there, he almost had the same situation that Todd Gillen had earlier, but he actually backed out, gathered the car back up to make another run at it. You're just so tough that when you don't have the air on that right rear to be able to stay in the throttle. Whoa, 3 wide here.
Harrison Burton splits the middle, coming back up through the field. The 12th car now challenging Ankrum. Ankrum getting a little loose.
Wow, that is sideways, even up off the corner again.
Oh, you see how challenging the racetrack is. That may have been one thing that led to Todd Gilliland's demise. Dillon has caught up with him.
And with Todd Gilliland, who was involved in that accident, Todd, just what happened from your perspective?
We freed up a lot at the halfway break, and I was just really too free to be racing under someone like that at that point, and just made a dumb mistake, obviously. Should have just fallen back a second. Well, first off, I should have got a better restart and been way ahead of him by then anyway, but you just got to be smarter than that. I've been making a lot of mistakes like that lately, and just need to clean those up. I was really hoping to get Fred's in victory lane for the first time at DGR Crosley, and it was just a lot of fun working with these guys at DGR Crosley again, and hopefully it's cool to see that Tyler Ankrum win the championship and all, but we're out here to win this race, and we didn't get the job done, so just on me, but thanks for the fast car.
He certainly was one of the favorites, and a tough way to go out here at Dover.
And Parker, he only had 1 goal, right?
Yeah, that was to win. He mentioned kind of making a lot of those mistakes lately. You've seen it in the truck series. And, the thing about Todd is what he has to remember is he's very early in his career. He's had a lot of peaks, and he's going through one of those valleys that he'll experience throughout it. And it's not how hard you fall, it's how fast you get up, right? And that's the big thing for him in his career right now is he's got to find a way to get past these mistakes and right that ship a little bit and get the positive momentum again.
Todd, the 2-time West Series champion, has now gone on to truck racing, as you mentioned, for Kyle Busch Motorsports. And out of the race here today, his return to the K&N Pro Series. Moving back just a little bit now, Tristan Van Wieringen in 7th place, being challenged by Ronnie Bassett Jr. This has been fun to watch.
No doubt, there's been battles all around this racetrack. But this is great to see, when these drivers get into a little bit of a longer green flag run, we'll start to maybe see them move their line around just a tick. You'll see slight differences, maybe a little bit diming into the corner, that sort of thing, and that's how you get runs on each other.
Bassett trying to get Van Wieringen here at Dover. Action-packed morning at the Dover International Speedway. No sunshine right now. In fact, the race was moved from Friday evening to Saturday morning. And this was the initial start. Tyler Ankrum moved up to the pole position. Colin Garrett got loose early, Parker, and collected Juan Manuel Gonzalez.
Yeah, Colin tried to hold on to it. There was nowhere for Gonzalez to go. And then Todd Gilliland loses it underneath Ruben Garcia Jr. fighting for the lead. He admitted that the car was probably too loose, and he was trying too hard to keep the lead there.
So Garcia continues to pace the field. You're looking at the series champion for 2018. That is Tyler Ankrum, the 17-year-old from San Bernardino, California. He's trying to go out with a win, but he's got a few cars to get around. I don't know if that 17 today, Parker, is really showing the kind of race-winning speed he'll need. I think Alfredo was sideways coming off of 2 there, or off of 4.
We keep seeing that out of all these drivers. It's just a lot of sideways action. You know, it kind of tells me, and from listening to what Todd Gillen had to say, is with this racetrack changing as they lay that rubber down, they're all trying to make the changes that they made in that first break, get assessments for the second break, and get these cars loosened up. And that's interesting because, you know, this place normally does tighten up as the rubber gets put down, but then you have to deal with that looseness at the beginning of a run when the rubber's not quite down. And that's a tough thing to do because these cars change so much throughout a run.
Changing is what this series will do over the next couple of years. Earlier in the year, it was announced that NASCAR had purchased the ARCA Racing Series, and earlier this weekend they made an announcement about the future, which didn't have all the details, Parker, but basically it underscored a couple of things. One, that they want to keep the short track mentality that the K&N Pro Series has had to develop drivers, but two, they want to keep some of the super speedway action that the ARCA Racing Series has had.
No doubt. I think it's a really cool thing that they're creating here amongst all these series, is a very specific pathway to getting to the national series. And that's a big thing for a lot of these drivers, and what a lot of series have lacked over the years was really a real pathway. It was not understood exactly how you got to the higher series, and I think they're going to be doing that, and they're going to be allowing these drivers the chance to race in a bunch of different tracks, from short tracks to speedways, all in the same car. So it keeps the cost down, which is the biggest key as well, is keeping the cost as low as possible and giving these drivers as much experience as possible.
The details will be finalized more and more as next season continues. Next season is going to be a lot like this season, but 2020 is the big year where they'll roll out really a new framework for what the developmental series is going to look like going forward, and we'll be very interested to watch. A lot of talent came through this K&N series and the ARCA series as well to get to, as you said, the top ranks of NASCAR.
No doubt. And just as a driver who had run the ARCA series, and at the time there was a lot of series and you didn't know exactly where you needed to go and what you should be running, and I tried to run the K&N East series at one point. It was all very confusing, and now we're going to settle that and make it very easy to understand. And I think that's the key part.
Ronnie Bassett Jr. in the 04 for now has backed off of the 30 car of Tristan Van Wieringen. Looking for a little more speed and grip in that race car.
And one thing I've noticed out of Van Wieringen there is how he's moved his line around. You see him running just a tick higher, and especially down in 1 and 2, almost a diamond approach to the corner. See, he enters a little higher, will get higher in the center there, then Ronnie Bassett, and then cut back down in front of Bassett to try and take the air off the nose there. And then you see Bassett slides up the racetrack and doesn't gain anything. And that's a lot of times what you'll do at this racetrack, especially as the run goes on. You'll really start to move that lane around.
Not missing anything up front. Garcia still leads, coming up on the second break here.
Whoa!
Oh, wow, dirt tracking there.
Oh, wow.
Did you hear those? Yeah, he might have a real problem.
Yeah, he might have an issue there. He's starting to see the right rear bounce. That is not what you want to have happen. Is something that is very unusual to have happen as that car is loaded up in the banking. He definitely has an issue there on the 04 car.
Parker, we often talk about how brutal this track is on equipment, and it's the one time a year that the K&N Pro Series races here.
It is, and the thing that we do in some of the higher national series is actually, when we come here, you'll make sure that those track bar mounts are reinforced and all sorts of things in the rear of these race cars, because they take such a pounding and a huge amount of load as you load up in those 24 degrees of banking at upwards of 140 miles an hour. So it's a very, very brutal racetrack.
Bassett's crew will go to the attention of the 04. You saw there the 17 of Tyler Ankrum still hanging on to that 5th position over Harrison Burton. Leader now getting into some lap traffic.
I don't think there's any better example of how dominant Ruben Garcia Jr. has been since he's taken the lead of this race car, other than he is running into traffic here of the 1 car of Derek Kraus. And this is just...
Yeah, no, and there's the competition caution right there. I was going to say, Memphis was a little bit of a different race. He kind of saved his car till the end there and came back to win his first career K&N Pro Series race. But boy, since he got out front, Parker, he's been gone.
He's taken off. So I think for the other drivers right now, this break will be very important to make changes if they want to beat that 6th car.
Tires and adjustments. We'll be back to Dover. You know, I said tires and adjustments, except for one car. That one of Derek Kraus on the outside there, he took his tires in the earlier break, and he stayed out during this caution. He'll be the restart leader with Garcia, the white car, to the inside.
And a great restart being on older tires there. And you know what? That's why we saw Derek Kraus. Oh, Garcia's going to make a run on the bottom. Right past Derek Kraus, and that's why we probably saw him at the tail end of the lead lap there, almost getting lapped as we came to this last break.
Conserving his tires.
Exactly, he was trying to protect those. Brandon McReynolds making a run on him on the inside.
Look at him work that wheel. McReynolds now up to second. That's Sam Mayer on the outside of Harrison Burton in the 41. Mayer gets a little bit squirrely. Burton holding his line. What a great shot.
Whoa.
Wow.
McReynolds makes the pass, and now he can set his sights on the leader of Ruben Garcia Jr. See if he has anything for that 6 car.
There's Mayer in the 41, still battling Burton.
Oh, and these two are really tight. Mayer's squeezing Burton. You see him get loose there.
Oh, no, now Ankrum has an issue and is on pit road. The series champion with troubles just after the restart has brought the 17 to pit road as well. I was thinking of Bassett was on pit road. Now Ankrum. We'll see what's going on with him.
It looked like they had a tire there ready to put on, so maybe he's had a tire issue or a tire going down that he felt. I didn't see any visibly down, but he would feel it better than us.
Well, they're not working really quickly there in the 17, although on and off of pit road. So Ankrum rejoins. We'll try to find out from Dylan what happened there. Meanwhile, Garcia is up front in the 6 and not getting away right now from McReynolds. This is the battle for third. Kraus over Mayer. So Dylan has now figured out what's going on with Ankrum.
Well, guys, the problem with Tyler Ankrum, as you saw, that he thought he had a flat tire on the right side of the car, so he came down pit road. The crew went around to the right side and didn't see a flat, so they just made a big chassis adjustment just to try and stabilize that car a little bit more and send him back onto the racetrack.
Parker, with the speeds here at Dover, can this place fool you sometimes?
Well, that's interesting because, you know, a lot of times here what can happen is you get a lot of pickup on the tire. Oh, we've got a car. Van Weergen in the wall.
Tristan Van Weergen has caught the wall off of turn 2 and brings it down to the inside. That was a pretty good hit.
Very hard hit there.
A lot of damage. Let's take a look.
Well, the battle between himself and Ronnie Bassett continued to the point of breaking there, whereas Ronnie Bassett gave him the old chrome horn on the X of these corners. Just a little tap can unsettle that race car enough because you're so on edge that it's just not going to have the grip to hold on. He gets forced up the racetrack and into the outside wall. That's a hard hit in the outside wall.
Yeah, but still under green. NASCAR deemed the track safe and clear, so the racing continues, but not for Van Weergen. That'll be the end of his day.
No doubt. That car is terminally damaged there.
So what was a good battle on track between Tristan and Ronnie Bassett Jr. ends poorly. And this could end either way. Garcia, the white car, is still out front, but McReynolds is right there.
This is a great battle, and what it's telling me is that Brandon McReynolds and that team went to work on that race car during the last break, made some changes that he needed. They were the correct changes, and now he's able to stay right on the back of Ruben Garcia Jr.
How about Kraus settling into third now in that one car? Remember, he put on his tires very early, Dylan.
Well, Dave, Derek Kraus there running in that third spot, of course, competes mostly in the K&N Pro Series West, but making a rare appearance here with the East Series. This is the biggest and fastest racetrack he's ever been on. Never been on anything quite this size or anything that has this much speed. And talking to him about the challenges of that, he said that your body kind of tells you to lift off the throttle way sooner than you actually need to. It's been tough for him to overcome that feeling, that instinct of wanting to lift off the throttle, but these cars carry so much speed through the corner, you have to keep your foot in it, and he's done a nice job of adapting to that so far as he runs in third.
Yeah, he ran at New Hampshire, but that's nothing like this, Parker.
No, nothing at all. And you know, I've got a funny story I always tell about coming here to Dover, which was the first time I came here in a truck, which was similar to these cars in terms that you could basically almost go flat out qualifying. I remember doing about 5 laps the first time off the truck, and I came in and the team wanted me to talk about the race car, and I went to talk, I was out of breath. I was going, I had nothing left. I'd held my breath for 3 or 5 laps. So this place is just very intense. And as Derek noted there, you can go so much faster than you physically believe you can, that once you get past that mental barrier, it becomes a very fun racetrack. And now it's one of my favorites that we go to. But at first, it can be very daunting and intimidating to go that fast and that hard through the corners.
Garcia has not been intimidated. The 6 car continues to lead, with Brandon McReynolds trying to chase him down. Ruben going for his 2nd win of the year in this series, also trying to win the NASCAR Peak Mexico Series. 3 races to go in Mexico, and his nearest pursuer is only 7 points behind, so he's got quite the battle on his hands there. Can't win this championship, but can finish the East Series year with a win. Laps winding down at Dover, just 12 to go now in the Crosley Brands 125. This is 3rd place Derek Kraus holding off Sam Mayer in the 41. But the battle up front has remained just a few car lengths apart. Red 74 of Brandon McReynolds trying to chase down Ruben Garcia.
And Brandon's been moving his line around. Earlier in the run, Ruben Garcia Jr. was running a little bit higher, doing a little bit more of a diamond. He's moved back down to being right on the bottom. See him trying to get that race car to turn, and then Brandon now is just searching. You see him poking his nose wherever Ruben Garcia isn't. That's how you get that car to turn. He's getting right to his rear bumper here. Oh, it gets a little tight there. See, he had the wheel to the left, had to basically lift out the throttle just a tick. Ruben was able to drive away. Playing with that throttle. He's struggling to be able to get back into it hard. You'd love to be able to be full throttle before you ever get to the exit. A little bit better there. He was able to make it turn on the exit there. So it's going to come down to ways to get that car to turn. He looks a little bit tight. Can he get it to turn, even in the dirty air of Ruben Garcia Jr., to be able to get to his rear bumper and put some pressure on him?
Oh, come close to the wall there, but that view out the window of McReynolds, Garcia's car looks really good right now, Parker.
It does. It looks really settled. It seemed like McReynolds made a bit of a run at him there. Maybe he just abused that right front a little bit too much. He can back off here, see if he can basically just give it a bit of a rest and make another run at it. But at the same token, I've seen Ruben move his line lower, and I feel like maybe he found that there was a little bit more speed being lower. He noted McReynolds was a little lower than him, and then once he changed that lane, that helped his car turn better. Now he's been driving away.
Less than 7 laps to go now for the Rev Racing driver. Has been in the series a couple of years now. Would like to see his 2nd victory come at the Monster Mile.
And it's been an impressive drive, no doubt, throughout this race. The way he raced Todd Gillen there, and even having Todd almost getting to the side of him, he gave him the appropriate room there so that he wasn't involved in that wreck as well. And since he's gotten the lead, he's just dominated. He's been able to move his lane around when he needed to, get good adjustments inside that race car and both the brakes.
I'm thinking, Parker, these Rev Racing cars, and especially Garcia's, seems to like higher speeds and bigger tracks. His win, of course, came at Memphis, which I guess that's 3/4 of a mile, so it's not huge, as is Iowa, where he had a top 5, but also Gateway had a top 5 there. So I think he's adapting well to the higher speed and the high banks of Dover and places like it.
Well, that's the thing. You see with different drivers, and some of the records there by Brandon McReynolds in the K&N Pro Series, but some drivers really take the fast racetracks, so you're in the throttle really well. I myself was one of those that enjoys the high-speed racetracks, and then others are short track masters. You know, they go up on the short tracks. That's what they learn and love, and therefore that's the place they feel most comfortable. So it's really just, as they say, what's the saying? Different horses or different courses for different horses, that sort of thing.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I think you see that all the time in racing, especially in young drivers, because they don't know what they don't know. And therefore, you start to see what they instinctively gravitate to. And some drivers just gravitate towards these faster, bigger racetracks.
3 to go. Devin Dodson in the 7, giving the leaders lots of room to race, but I don't know if it'll be enough time for McReynolds. Garcia looks strong, coming by for 2 to go.
Yeah, I believe he's got this one in hand. Unless there's a mistake or a lapper that gets in the way, I just don't see McReynolds being able to make that race car turn well enough to get to that back bumper Ruben Garcia Jr. I think he has this one firmly in command, and it's been an impressive race, a dominant race by Ruben Garcia.
Hispanic Heritage Month ends in a week or so, and this will be a nice way to cap it off for the driver from Mexico City. He'll see the white flag this time by at the Monster Mile. Now he's just got to be careful, Parker, and fast.
Just don't make any mistakes. You can basically roll it through these two corners.
The monster can bite you at any time, but today, Ruben Garcia Jr. tames it. Garcia will win in Dover.
Great win. Did everything he needed to. That was an impressive drive. And one that once he had the opportunity in hand, he never relinquished it. Even with a little pressure there for Brandon McReynolds throughout this run, he drove perfectly, flawlessly to get the win. And there's your champion for 2018.
That's right. Tyler Ankrum had an issue, brought the 17 down pit road. Now he crosses the line. The championship he clinched last race at New Hampshire will now be fully awarded to him here in Dover. There's the team for Rev Racing. They're pretty excited about their second win of the year with driver Ruben Garcia. We'll be back to the Monster Mile to talk to him in a moment. K&N Pro Series Racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N high-flow air filters and air intake systems, because everyone loves that fast car smell. Season over for the K&N Pro Series East, and it ends at Dover with Ruben Garcia Jr. taking the checkered flag and Tyler Ankrum claiming the trophy he earned throughout the season. When he was 6 years old, he was looking through a scrapbook and saw his grandpa's quarter midget and said, Mom and Dad, I want one of those. He bugged his parents for 2 years till they finally relented and got him started in racing. Now it comes to this, a championship in NASCAR. Let's head down to Dylan.
Well, I know it wasn't the race that you wanted to end the year on, but you wrapped up the championship, and it's official now. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a fun race, actually. We were really good all race, and we're just trying to fight that dirty air. And we started off really good, and then we just thought we lost the lead. I messed up on restart. It's so hard starting on the bottom. We get so loose, but we figured it out. We were super fast on the top. Me and Harrison were one of the first ones to get on the top, and we mowed him and McReynolds and Meyer down like a full straightaway, and then we had that caution, and that 80-lap caution, the guys put the left rear on the right rear and right rear on the left rear. So, it's a mistake, but, we all make mistakes at the end of the day. We win together, we lose together. So, fantastic year, 4 wins, a pole, and hundreds of laps led. Got to thank everyone at DGR Crosley. Everyone pulls together, does a fantastic job. Modern Meat, Toyota, number 17 crew, they're the best at what they do. So, yeah.
How good does it feel? I know this was the goal coming into the start of the year, but to accomplish that, how good does it feel?
It's nice. Let me just put it that way. I don't really know how to describe it, because winning a stock car championship on an upper level is something I haven't done before. So at the beginning of the year, something we talked about. Like jokingly around the campfire. Maybe we're going to get the championship this year, and it's become a real thing. So it's experience for sure.
Well, he's going to enjoy this one. Tyler Ankrum, your 2018 K&N Pro Series East champion.
Did not have plans to run the whole season, Dylan, until his dad informed me, you know what, we're going to do this. We'll figure out how. And by golly, they did. Here are the final results today, Parker. Garcia in victory lane.
And Brandon McReynolds gave him a good run for his money. It's been 2 great races to end the season for him. And Derek Kraus hanging on those older tires to finish 3rd. That's an impressive drive.
Harrison Burton came from the back of the field to finish 5th. Now let's go to victory lane and Dylan.
Domination, the word to describe the performance today by Ruben Garcia. And after dominating this race last year, how good does it feel to dominate again today, but finish it off with a win in victory lane?
Damn, it's even better. I'm so proud of everyone involved in Rev Racing, everyone that work in this car, Max Siegel, the Drive for Diversity program. They did a great job here last year. We dominated the whole race, like you said, just about 8 or 9 laps short. But this year we got it done. I'm really happy. It's a really cool way to finish the season and to maybe use this momentum for our plans for next year.
Yeah, what does it mean to end the year on such a high note? You got your first win earlier this year at Memphis, and to end it with the win too, it's got to feel good.
It's huge. I think the momentum that we've been building this year, it's helping a lot on our plans for the future, especially winning at tracks like Dover, tracks that we're looking to race in the National Series. And this is great. I hope we can use this. We're running good here. We're running really good in Mexico with 3 wins there already, 5 overall. So if we keep doing what we're doing, I hope we can get opportunities soon.
No better way to end the year for Ruben Garcia Jr. He's in victory lane at Dover.
How about that? And we got max points today. Parker wasn't able to get second away from Dipple, but we knew that. But look, he ends up 3rd in the championship.
He does, and that was the highest he could get to, and he got it in dominating fashion. You know what? He led 4 more laps this year than he did last year, and he got the victory. Impressive all around.
So Brandon McReynolds was chasing him down there at the end. Let's find out what he has to say. He's with Dylan.
Brandon McReynolds comes home in the 2nd spot this afternoon. So what more did you need there to run down Ruben at the end? Looked like you could get to him, just couldn't quite get over that hump and get to his back bumper.
Yeah, Tim Fiedel, my spotter, did a good job keeping me disciplined. Obviously, he spots for one of the best, Kevin Harvick here, so he did a good job. I missed my mark a few times, getting hung up in dirty air. I was blown away how free I actually got when I was catching the 6. But Ruben and the Rev guys, they always seem to come here with one really good car that hauls the mail and wins the race. So it was close. Really proud of Visconti Motorsports and Bruce Cook and our whole team. Just come up a little short. I think there's some things I could have done different to be more disciplined and hook the bottom. And just wish we had a little more clean air after that restart.
Well, 2 good runs to end the year for him. One at Loudon last time out and comes home in the runner-up spot today at Dover.
So, Dave, when we were on his onboard late in that race,
right,
I thought he looked tight, but he was actually loose inside that 74 car trying to catch Ruben Garcia Jr. Just shows you how hard he was working inside that car.
I was going to say, the monster can even fool the best of you, Parker.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, more K&N Series racing coming up on NBCSN. 2 races left in the West, and Derek Thorne trying to hold off 3 drivers who could take that championship away from him. But there was no denying Tyler Ankrum here today. He had clinched back at New Hampshire, and he got to celebrate to the full degree here at the Monster Mile. Meanwhile, some had trouble on the day, but Ruben Garcia did not Parker a dominating performance.
No, he did not. Maybe he came the closest there, and Todd Gillen got up into his left rear, but he held him off and went on to win the race.
The monster can be tough, but today it was tamed by Ruben Garcia Jr., while at the same time, NASCAR crowned its newest champion at Dover. There he is, the 2018 K&N Pro Series East champion, 18-year-old Tyler Ankrum from California.